You know, it's really funny at the end of the day when you realize that all four JGR cars should have finished in the top 10 because they're like the best team all day on speed. But then it's also just funny how they don't, and it's Penske instead with all three of their cars finishing into the top 10, and they were like nowhere to be seen after the rain delay. So we have a lot to talk about after Nashville. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again. We're back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Ally 400 from Nashville Super Speedway. What a race it was. Definitely better than last year in my opinion, especially with the new next-gen car. I mean, last year was pretty good, but Larson dominated the race last year. This one, we didn't know who was going to win. There was a close battle with the JGR cars, including Chase Elliott. A lot of drama going on with like the restarts and just the battling up front with the stages and just overall great racing and stuff. And the restarts were crazy. 3-4 wide action as well. It was just a phenomenal race in my opinion. Really good day. So hopefully we do see this track back on the schedule for next season. But yeah, the concrete tracks have been pretty good. Dover and Nashville, just have to say. So as usual with our reviews, we're going to look at our top 10 finishers, including our race winner Chase Elliott. We're going to look at our drivers of the day, also rating the race, and at the end we're going to end it off with the outro. So let's go ahead and get ready for the review. Finishing in first is Chase Elliott. What a race for Chase Elliott. I mean, it's been an up and down day. It started at its downs early in the race where Hendrick Motorsports was really having issues just to start the race. Elliott and Larson weren't really that fast. Bowman got wrecked by LaJoie, and then Byron had his issues with this car. But a day-to-night transition. What a day-to-night transition it was for Chase Elliott indeed. He was one of the fastest cars out on the track. It showed that he had a really fast car because he was passing through a lot of cars at the end of stage 2. And then if he eventually took the lead away from Martrix Jr. and Kyle Busch until the pit strategy came into play, and it was just Elliott versus Kyle Busch until the caution came out when Buescher lost a tire. So it was big changes to the outcome of the race. Elliott and it was just Elliott versus the JGR veterans in that penultimate restart, and he's literally had beef with all three of those JGR drivers. I mean, literally with Truex back in the Southern 500 in 2020, he's had beef with Hamlin in 2017 at Martinsville, and with Kyle Busch in Darlington back in 2020, the second race and stuff. So yeah, he's had beef with all of them, but he was able to beat them at the end of the race. And even when Bilicki's engine expired for another caution, those three cars decided to pit. Elliott stayed out, and I thought that was the best decision, but we'll get into that later. So Elliott put off a good move by staying out, held off Kurt Busch, and was able to win at Nashville for his 15th career win, his second win of 2022. Now he's the fifth multi-time winner of 2022. Now he has won 2 of the 3 concrete tracks so far this season. So Bristol is the last one. So we'll see if he can win there later in the fall. And he's also has just 3 concrete wins in his career. 2 at Dover, now at Nashville. Also his first oval win since Phoenix in 2020 when he got the championship. But just to be more specific, this is his first intermediate oval win since Charlotte in 2020 to start off his championship campaign. So really good job by Chase Elliott in the 9 team. A really strong run. And a lot of people thought Hendrick kind of struggled in the summer last year, so it's not looking like that so far, but we'll see what happens at Road America, where Elliott also won there last year, so we'll see how that goes. But a really good job by Elliott in the 9 team. Finishing in runner-up position was Kurt Busch. A decent finish for Kurt Busch overall. He didn't have the best Toyota, but he also didn't have the worst one as well. I mean, he started 19th in this race, which wasn't really that good and stuff. He definitely was not, in my opinion, as fast as Bubba Wallace, but Bubba Wallace has had his issues with his pit crew and stuff. Kurt Busch hasn't had any of that, but Kurt Busch has had a top 10, top 15 car all day, and then just thank goodness with the caution, he was able to be up in that second position, but just could not stop Chase Elliott. Elliott was definitely better, hands down, overall, and Kurt Busch had to settle for second. But still, a nice, solid top 5 finish for Kurt Busch. Actually, that's 2 top 10s in the last 3 races. So really good effort by Kurt Busch and the 45 team. Let's see if they can keep their momentum up going into Road America. Finishing third was Ryan Blaney, another driver who had a weird day to night transition. I mean, during the day before the rain, Ryan Blaney definitely looked like he had the fastest forward. But once it got into nightfall, he was really falling off the pace. Harvick was starting to get better, but then just Blaney was falling off overall. He fell all the way back to as low as 20th until he got loose and backed into the wall a little bit. And so it was a terrible day to night transition for Ryan Blaney and stuff. And he was still running in 20th and stuff. Thank goodness, because a lot of cars were allowed down. But with that caution for Josh Bilicki, he was able to jump up so many spots. He stayed out and ends up getting a third place finish. So really good for Ryan Blaney to just hang in there and stuff. That's now 3 straight top 10 finishes for Ryan Blaney. But still, the car struggled towards the end. Nothing you could do about that because you can't predict with all the rain and stuff. So it does kind of suck at the end of the day for Blaney. But hey, they'll take a top 5 if they can. Finishing in fourth was Kyle Larson, and very surprising to say this, but technically this is actually Kyle Larson's first top 5 finish since he finished runner-up in Kansas, and that race was like well over a month ago. So it's actually been a while since Larson has finished inside the top 5, but still a really decent race for Kyle Larson. Like I said with Chase Elliott and stuff, Larson really didn't have the best car to start off. Heck, neither of the Hendrick cars did. But then the day-to-night transition, Larson was starting to pick the pace back up and started to look like he had a top 10 car, and he did. He just had a car that finished in the that could finish in the top 10, and even with the caution coming out, still had a top 10 car. So really well-deserved finish for Kyle Larson in the 5 team after dominating this race and being the race winner last year. Top 5, still not bad. And rounding out the top 5 and 5th was Ross Chastain. Chastain, in my opinion, was all over the place. I mean, literally, at the beginning of this race, firing out the gate, he started 7th, I believe, and he was just running pretty well. And then he had this one run-in with Cindric to where he kind of blocked him really late. It was pretty close, so I don't know if Cindric was happy about that, but, you Chastain, that's just him being very aggressive, and just some drivers don't really like him out there and stuff, but But hey, some people say that Chastain's the driver that we need in the sport, and I kind of agree. But still, Chastain had a really wild day. And heck, at one point, after the Blaney caution, the next restart, he was literally 3 wide with Truex and Harvick for like 3-4 laps. Like you cannot believe that. You don't see that often from NASCAR recently, because like our last rules package was crap and stuff. But he was really going at it with Truex and Harvick and stuff. But he had a really good battle there. And after that, he just looked like he had a top 10 car, and he did. He finishes in the top 5, 3 straight top 10 finishes for Ross Chastain. A really strong run. Let's see how he does at the road course at Road America next week. Finishing 6th was Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin definitely, hands down, had one of the best cars to start. I mean, literally started on pole and stuff, because the rest of qualifying rained out. But still, Hamlin had a really fast car. Him and Truex were really going at it. I mean, after Briscoe went to the garage, I believe, Hamlin was catching Truex for that stage 1 win, but Truex was able to hang on, and Toyota was really strong so far. And then it was really a really good battle out up front between Truex and Hamlin, and eventually in stage 2, Hamlin was able to take the lead back out in front. But then we had that whole caution period for 2 hours and stuff. Hamlin and Truex were still going at it, but Truex took the lead back from Hamlin and won stage 2. And after that, Hamlin still looked like he had a really fast car, but he had a bad pit stop that kind of put him behind the 8 ball. So I don't know if Hamlin was happy about that, but he was still able to gain back up and be in that JGR veterans fight with Chase Elliott, but just wasn't strong enough. And then at the end of the race, with that Bilicki engine problem, after that caution, Hamlin, Truex, and Kyle Busch all pitted. Hamlin also pitted as well. Or I already said that. Hamlin pitted, and then he had the best restart between those 3 and stuff, and was able to get a 6th place finish. But still, in my opinion, I don't think that was the right call to pit, because it would be good to pit if you had like 10 to 15 laps to go, but when you only have 5 to go, you don't have enough time to go from top 15 to the lead and stuff. So I don't know if that was the right strategy call, but hey, risk versus reward, but still a top 10 finish for Hamlin overall. Finishing 7th was Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric, he's had a struggle of a day. I mean, early in the race, he had to pit because he thought he had a tire going down, but turns out it wasn't. And then he was just also having problems, I believe, later in the race. But then after that, he started to pick up the pace. He started to make a comeback from that, and was able to run in the top 10 towards the end of the race, and ends up getting a 7th place finish. So credit to Cindric and his team coming back from an issue like that. And they just had some run-ins, like I said with Chastain, had that false alarm with the pit road thing with the tire and stuff. So a decent comeback overall for Cindric as he finishes 7th. Finishing in 8th was Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell, once again, also had a really strong day. He wasn't really as fast as his other 3 drivers. He didn't have a race-winning car, but he still had like a nice top 10, top 15 car. He wasn't really running in the top 10 as much, but he's had some issues, I believe. I mean, I remember after the engines refired and they went down pit road, Bell and McLeod actually made contact on pit road. It was a pretty big contact, but nothing severe, so he's able to continue. So it's really weird how Bell has issues on pit road literally after red flags for like rain. I mean, go back to Bristol Dirt, where he like spun on the racetrack trying to get back on it and stuff because the dirt is very slippery. So he's had his issues, but he was able to rebound from that, and also with the luck of the Blaney caution, able to get a nice solid 8th place finish. But man, if you guys could just take away that 27th place finish at Sonoma, you're looking at a driver that could have had 8 straight top 10 finishes, but still a nice solid result for Bell. Finishing in 9th was Joey Logano. Logano had a pretty up and down day in my opinion, but he's had an up and down day like literally since like the month of May. Like literally he goes from like 29th at Dover to winning at Darlington, then the 17th at Kansas, to doing really well in the All-Star race, but that's the All-Star race. Then goes to a 20 at the Coke 600, winning at Gateway, 17th at Sonoma, 9th here today at Nashville. But still, Logano had a pretty decent car. He had a decent start. Yeah, he started 2nd in this race, but then he started to fall back pretty early, and he pitted a second time in stage 1. So Logano was having his issues, but he was starting to fight back from that and stuff. But he was really running in the top 15. But thanks to the caution, he was able to run inside the top 10 and finish in the top 10, so 9th place finishing result for them. So Logano just, yeah, I don't know. This is now concrete tracks where Logano's starting to struggle, so watch out for Bristol. He might struggle there, but Logano's good at Bristol. But yeah, he finished 29th at Dover and finishes 9th here today, but without that caution, it wouldn't have been a top 10 finish. So we'll see what happens with Logano, but yeah, decent finish overall. And rounding out the top 10 in 10th was Kevin Harvick. What could have been for Kevin Harvick? I mean, literally, they had a really strong car, in my opinion, and stuff. Just, man, they just really weren't that fast. Harvick's just still not back to what we thought he was, and I don't think he will be back because, I mean, he's starting to get to that point in his career, but Harvick was having a really strong run, like early in the race and stuff, and I believe Harvick also was that another driver having a run with Chastain early in the race, but Harvick looked really strong, and then at one point he was running as high as 2nd trying to catch Kyle Busch, but Truex and Elliott were definitely better and stuff, so Harvick after that all cycled through. He had a top 15 car to finish, but hey, like I said with the Blaney caution, was able to get a top 10, so not bad for Harvick, who now sits, I believe, 7 points above the cut line from his teammate Eric Almirola. And now let's rate this race. So like I said with Nashville last year, it was a pretty decent race. Larson really dominated the whole thing. It was kind of hard to pass. But this one, it was still pretty hard to pass and stuff. But we had a lot of switching throughout for the lead, especially with the Hamlin-Truex battle. Elliott and Truex were going at it. Elliott and Kyle Busch, a lot of drivers up in the front. 3-4 wide action, especially during the restarts. It was pretty crazy. Pretty decent racing, in my opinion. I thought it was really better than last year, just have to say. So if I had to rate this race, I'm going to give it a 9.3 out of 10. A really solid race, in my opinion. Definitely want to see this track back on the schedule next year because, hey, concrete racing has been pretty solid, like really solid so far this year. Like Dover was pretty solid, Nashville pretty solid, so Bristol, don't disappoint. We're counting on you, but you're a short track, so we'll see. But high banks, but still, I'd rate it a 9.3 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would rate it in the comment section below. Now, actually, this is a little mini big story of the race is about what I think, in my opinion, what JGR did. Did JGR sell this race? Did they actually sell this race? In my opinion, it's hard to say, but actually, no, it's not. I think they did sell. I think they sold completely because I don't know why. I mean, it's hard to say because you don't know what other drivers are going to do. You don't know. You can't predict how many drivers are going to go on pit road or how many are going to stay out and stuff, and you can't predict what the leader is going to do. I mean, when they saw Elliott stay on the track, they didn't even move. They just kept going. They called the Tennessee Titans or the TTs for 2 tires and stuff. It's a Tennessee reference, but whatever. But still, I wouldn't have pitted. I mean, really, it's not. I wouldn't pit because you have what? you're gonna, yeah, the caution came out with like 10 laps to go. You're gonna be restarting with like 5 to go. You don't have that much time coming from what, like 14th, 15th to get up into the front to actually compete for the lead. Now, if you had more laps, then yes, I could see that, but you had less than 7 laps to go, so you cannot make that and stuff. And Kyle Busch had a bad restart, same thing with Truex, but Hamlin actually had a good restart, and he only got up to 6. He didn't even finish in the top 10. So, in my opinion, did JGR sell this race? I think kind of bit. It's a judgment call and stuff, but I kind of think they did. But it's like this with Kyle Busch. Literally, when he's having a really good race, it all comes down to a caution at the end of the day. Do you pit? Do you not? Happened at Vegas, happens today and stuff. But it just does suck for them. I mean, Hamlin was only one out of them to finish inside the top 10. Hamlin finished 6th, Bell finished 8th, but then Truex and Kyle Busch finished 21st, Truex finished 22nd. So that's not good. And Truex was having a really good day and stuff, especially saying that he's coming back to the 19 car next year. That just sucks. Kyle Busch, he backed into the wall in qualifying, I believe. And stuff, and he had to start at the back, and he drove all the way up there to lead a few laps, and all for nothing. And Hamlin, I don't know, Hamlin shouldn't have pitted, so it was really hard to say. But yeah, I personally would not have pitted and stuff. That's just me, but let me know what you guys think. Would you have pitted, or would you not have pitted? Okay, now for overall drivers of the day, here is the unlucky driver of the day. It's Chris Buescher. Tire went off after they came down for their pit stop. It just sucks for Chris Buescher because these last few weeks have just been wild and crazy. Like what kind of transitions are these? I mean, literally, flip at Charlotte, COVID misses it at Gateway, and then, finishes second at Sonoma, has a 2-week break. He was running pretty well today at Nashville, then that incident happened, so it does suck for Chris Buescher that he lost a tire and stuff. Now, his crew chief, Scott Graves, is going to be suspended for 4 races and stuff, but he will return at the Indy Road Course. Now, we'll see how Chris Buescher does, because we were talking about, let's see how Buescher does at Road America, where he can actually go out there and win. We'll see who will replace Scott Graves and stuff, but hey, just like Kyle Larson a couple weeks ago, he just lost his crew chief, Cliff Daniels, and stuck with Kevin Mendering, who's worked with Jimmy Johnson in the Cup Series back in 2019, and Larson got a top 5, but that's just Kyle Larson, so we'll see what happens, but still does suck for Chris Buescher overall, as they end up finishing P30. Now, for Underdog Driver of the Day, I gotta give it to my boy Eric Jones. I would say another driver, but I'll get to him later. But I'll say Eric Jones started 23rd, finished 11th. He was running in the top 15 most of the day. But hey, just like I said with that last restart and stuff, able to make up some positions and get to 11. So really solid day for Eric Jones. He was having a pretty solid day overall, just a top 15 car and stuff. So I really think Eric Jones can actually push his way into the... Can't point his way, but possibly be a contender for wins. But let's just see how he does at these super speedways. I mean, we still have Daytona and still have the second Atlanta race coming up. Now, for comeback driver of the day, I got to give it to my boy Austin Cindric. Like I said, had a couple issues earlier in the day, running with Ross Chastain, hard racing between him and Chastain. Also had to come in and pit after he thought a tire was going down. It was not, and he was kind of struggling. And then once it was nightfall, he started to pick up the pace and started to get better and better. Was running in the top 10, caution comes out, and is able to get a nice solid 7th place finish. And overall driver of the day, I'm going to give it to Chase Elliott. I would say Hamlin, Kyle Busch, or Truex, but the thing is, Kyle Busch and Truex, it's hard to say. I would put Hamlin up here, but it's so hard to say between him, Kyle Busch, and Truex. And Kyle Busch and Truex, they didn't even finish inside the top 20, so it seems logical to go with Chase Elliott, because he did have one of the best cars. I mean, he wasn't really all that good to start, but once... it went from day to night. He got better, and he looked like one of the cars to beat at the end of the day. So I'm going to give it to Chase Elliott in the 19. And that will do it for today's video. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I should be uploading a video on my gaming channel, NASCAR Gaming 48. Link in the description this Tuesday. So make sure you guys subscribe. Link in the description below, like I said. Do not miss that. If you guys want to check out my Instagram, link will also be down in the description below. And subscribe to this channel. We are at 168 subs, so I really do appreciate you guys. Let's reach to 175 and then overall to 200. But do appreciate you guys and stuff. It was a fun race, like I said. I'm looking to go to Nashville next year and stuff. Really, it would have been cool to go this year, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because my boy Alex Bowman got wrecked by a driver who can't even run good Inspire equipment and stuff. But hey, it's whatever and stuff. But hey, we'll see what happens at Road America next week, 4th of July and stuff. So it should be fun, good racing and stuff. Please don't let Road America get replaced by the Chicago Street Course. If you're going to replace the Chicago Street Course with any road course, Sonoma, just saying. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. So see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. This is NASCAR Game... not NASCAR Game 48, NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out. Look, I'm tired. It's almost midnight. Just saying. Peace out.